Hi everyone, today we're going to go over one of the most important forms for anyone who has a child support case, and that is the application for 4D child support services. So this is the form that everyone who has a friend of the court case who wants the child support program or the friend of the court to enforce their order or review and modify their order. Basically, this is the form that's used to fund all those child support services. So if you have a friend of the court case and you want the friend of the court to be enforcing your order for you, you're going to want to fill out this application for 4D child support services. If you have a friend of the court case and it went through the prosecutor's office, you won't need to fill out this form more than likely. This is for anyone who's filed their own action or filed their own case with the circuit court, and then they're wanting the friend of the court to have that case in the future for enforcement and for modification. This form turns on all of those enforcement remedies that the friend of the court has available and makes it so that those can be funded. So this is one of those really important forms. Usually the best time to fill out this form is once you have a court order entered. Some people do it at the very beginning of their filing, like at the same time they file their complaint and their verified statement. That's one way to do it, but the preferred time to fill it out is when your first court order is entered and getting it to the friend of the court at that time. If we don't get one of those here at the Genesee County friend of the court, if we don't get this 4D application for services at the time that the first order is being entered, we're going to reach out to both parties and try to get that form filled out, because it is so important to make sure that we are able to provide all of the different services that the friend of the court has to offer. It's important that we get this form filled out. So because it is such an important form for us, we are going to go over this form together and make sure everyone knows how to fill out the 4D application for 4D child support services. Okay, so here you go. You can see the form right here, and you can always get this form at the Friend of the Court's website, Genesee County Friend of the Court's website, or you can get this form on one of the other sites that we've just recently shown you, which is the My Child Support website, or through the MISDU website. So when you get there, no matter how you get the form, first thing you want to do is get the domestic relations filing docket number. So we've covered this several times in our other videos. The docket number or case number is going to be something that starts with the year and then is usually going to be 6 digits after that, and then is going to end with a suffix that's like DM, DC, DP, DS, DZ, something along those lines. So your domestic relations filing number might look something along these lines, again starting with a year and then 6 digits, and I'm going to just make up the digits here. Something along those lines, something going to look a little bit like that. Okay, so again, this is a fake number that I'm just putting in there for the purposes of giving you an idea what it might look like. So this is for the person who is filling out this form. So what's your relationship to the children for whom you're applying for child support services? So you are either going to be the mother or the father, more than likely, who's going to be requesting those services. So let you put that down there. And then who does the child live with most of the time? And it's really important that this doesn't have anything to do with if there's a pending custody hearing or a pending divorce. It's really just trying to get an idea of, at the time that this paperwork is being filled out, where is the child primarily residing? And this is basically because that's how the support order system, child support system, is going to look at custodial parent and non-custodial parent. This is going to change over the course of the case. Many times it does, but this is initially how it's going to be set up. If it changes down the road, no problem. That's something that we can fix in the system down the road. This is just for the initial setup. Or it can be both. And a lot of times with initial filings in a privately filed domestic relations case, like a divorce filing or a custody filing, it might be that the family was living as an intact family and now they're separating for the first time. So maybe the answer is going to be both. But let's just say, for the sake of me filling it out, that we're going to go with dad. So then we're going to fill out mother's information, mother's social security number, mother's mailing address, and mother's telephone number. And with any of these forms, we want to just fill it out to the best ability that we have. Maybe you don't have the other party's social security number, and that's not going to be something that you're maybe going to have available. Hopefully, if you do, then putting that information is going to be great. Hopefully you are going to have the other person's address and going to be able to put that information down. But we understand that not every time is the other party going to have great information for the other party. So that's okay, but try to fill this out as best we can. So we're putting in Jane Doe's information. And a social security number in there. And then an address. And then a phone number. Okay, and then we're going to put in some information here for dad as well. And you notice in this one there is a suffix in case we have a junior or a senior situation, which does happen a fair amount in the child support program, making sure that there may be a junior and a senior, and we do want to make sure that we don't get anybody mixed up there. And so that's one of the things that we can do here is make sure that we've got all the seniors and the juniors taken care of on this form so that we don't end up with getting those fathers and sons mixed up. Okay, so, and this is the address for the Genesee County friend of the court that I'm putting in here. And the phone number for the Genesee County friend of the court right there, just in case. Keep on getting that information out there just so you know where to find us. And again, those were both fake social security numbers I put in there. All right, so right here is family violence disclosure. Okay, so what is going to happen here is if you believe that disclosure of your address or other identifying information may result in physical or emotional harm, then you need to select yes here. If you do select yes here, then your information is going to be made confidential. Okay, and when we say your information is going to be made confidential, what does that mean? So all sorts of child support information in the child support program is already confidential, and that we don't share that with outsiders, and your information is going to remain confidential that way. When we do a family violence disclosure and it's made confidential, this means we won't share any information about you to the other party, and that any documents that will go out will have the address will be blocked out and it'll just say confidential. So what it really comes down to is that we won't be sharing address information with the other party. So that's essentially what checking this box will do. It'll make it confidential. It does make when a case is made confidential, it can make it a little bit harder to serve documents on the other party, those sorts of things. And this really is intended for when there is family violence. So if there's family violence, this is one of the ways that you can protect your information by selecting yes. I'm going to go with no in my situation here that we're filling this out for. Right here, there's going to be some times where there's going to be money that will be sent in error through the Michigan State Disbursement Unit, or an overpayment can happen. And so what this box here is basically saying, if that happens, are you going to give the child support program permission to pay back the error or overpayment by keeping 25% from future child support payments? So if you collect yes there, then the child support program is going to be able to make adjustments to your support, the support disbursements, so that less money is going to go out, so that those overpayments or errors can be fixed. If you don't select yes there and you select no, then there's not going to be an automated way that we're going to be able to do that, and that overpayment may stay on the books for a considerable amount of time. Definitely helps if yes is selected so that we can fix those. You also could check 10 or 50% if you wanted to change the amount that could be kept. So lots of different options here. Do whatever works for you and your family. You may decide that no is the right answer for you, or if you just select yes, then the default is going to be 25%. So and then there's this acknowledgement here, and I'm going to read through this just because one of the things that I think is really important is that people do know what orders they're signing or documents, the legal documents they're signing. Okay, so on this one, understand that I must provide my Social Security number pursuant to the Social Security Act in order for the Michigan Child Support Program to provide services. Basically, we have to have your Social Security number to get things set up. If we don't have a Social Security number, we are not going to be able to provide child support services. It does become an issue sometimes where we don't get a good Social Security number and we're not able to set up the child support order or move forward. So it's imperative that and super important that we get a Social Security number from everyone if we're going to have a child support case. And the next thing that you're saying is that you have received or have had an opportunity to review the Understanding Child Support, a handbook for parents, which is available on the Office of Child Support's website, or you can get that from your friend of the court. So most of the time when somebody starts a new case through the prosecutor's office, they're going to get the handbook, an FOC handbook, and you can also at any time go get the child support handbook from the Office of Child Support website. There's also a Genesee County specific handbook, friend of the court handbook, that's available on the Genesee County website. So both of those forms are available on our website, Genesee County website, or you can reach out to us at any time and we will provide those handbooks to you. And finally, by filling out this form, or the person who's filling it out is requesting child support services under the Title 4D Act. Now, either parent can, as we've gone over, either parent, mom or dad, can be the one that fills out those services. It doesn't matter who has custody. It doesn't matter who might be paying child support or who might be receiving child support. Either parent can request Title 4D services, and there's a whole bunch of services that come with that, including DNA testing, including child support enforcement, including a lot of automated services, including review and modification of child support orders. Tons of different services that come available once somebody fills out this form. So it's very important that it does get filled out once a child support order has been entered. So there's going to be a place here to sign it, or for an attorney to sign it, and then if an attorney has signed it, then who they're signing it on behalf. And then you can return this application back to us here at the Genesee County Friend of the Court at 630 South Saginaw Street, Suite 2500, Flint, Michigan 48502, or you can send it via email to us at focinfo@co.genesee.mi.us, or you can send it to us via My Child Support. So lots of different ways for you to get this information to us. Again, super important. Makes it so that we can provide all of the child support services we have available here at the Genesee County Friend of the Court. And you're going to want to fill this out either at the very beginning of your case when you fill out your other forms, or preferably the best way to do it is to get it filled out when your first child support order is entered. That's when we want to get it so that we can get your case set up. If you've got questions about filling out the 1201D or the application for child support services, feel free to reach out to the Genesee County Friend of the Court. We're here to serve.